Okay, if everybody can have a seat, we'll go ahead and get this meeting started. Welcome everybody. This is Autism part of Peel County. We've got everybody hiding out in the back, so they really don't want to be on camera today. But we're doing a town hall type meeting, so if you have some questions, we'll take a look at them as they come through. So if you have questions, please send them in. If you have information we'd like us to look into, please let us know. We're interested to know what services you feel that you need more, what's something we can change or help you change. Just any input that you'd like to give us. We'd like to make sure that we're forwarding that information to the proper people. So having said that, at this point in time, what happened to that other mic, Ray? Yeah, just grab that one right there. And Ray's going to talk to us about golf tournament. So, single mile golf tournament, make sure you bring your sombreros, but all you baseball players don't bring your golf sombreros. That's good.
Hi, good evening. So tonight I want to talk about the golf tournament. It's coming up May 5th. This is our big fundraiser. Right now the tournament is full. I have 144 players. So it actually filled up about a month ago. So we've been doing this for 19 years. We're on the map. So we're still probably one of the least expensive tournaments to play entry fee wise. So it gets them out there. What I need right now is help with raffle prizes, and if you can get sponsors. The paperwork is on our website. Explains everything on sponsorship. $250 will get the name of the company out there on the hole, recognition of the paper, all donations. If somebody needs a receipt, we have our 501c3. We'll give a receipt for their donation. Raffle prizes, anything you can get. Somebody just asked me tonight, well, how late is it too late to get a raffle prize? If you show up Saturday morning on the 5th with the raffle prize, I will raffle it off. Okay? And that's anything. Right now, George McFadden just handed me 5 gift certificates for Junior's Cafe and Lucky's Restaurant. I've been able to get some other restaurants. James was able, through his business through Farmers, it's got 4 entries into next year's Torrey Pines tournament that Farmers puts on. That's a nice raffle prize. But anything we can get, that's the raffle generates about $3,000 of what we make on that tournament. So it's nice now that we have 144 players. We had that last year. And equated to us having our biggest raffle, because every $20 bill in their pocket, I do what I can to get it out. I make the raffle easy for them to spend, easy for them to look at their tickets. They don't have to try hard. You buy $30 worth of tickets, and I call your name, you don't have to look at a number, the way we work it. So it's easy for the golfers, but the more eye candy they see, the more we get. So keep trying to get the gift certificates. They've authorized me to spend up to $500 on some of the eye candy type things like Best Buy or what have you. But I still have some donations coming in, so I may not even have to spend that money. It all depends. I don't really try to, because every penny I spend is a penny away from the group. So the only reason I'll spend is if I think we need to bolster the raffle to try to get a return from the golfers. So anything we get, greatly appreciated. My number is on all the forms. If I don't answer right away, it's probably because I'm at work, and being that I work at a prison, they don't let me take my phone in. But as soon as I get off, I will return your calls. So if you have any questions regarding donations, if you need me to go talk to a business, just let me know and I'll do that. So anybody here have any questions while I'm up here? All right, raffle prizes, anything, beauty salons, oil changes, flowers, haircuts, dry cleaning, all these companies will donate just after house. Thank you.
Does Hector have that mic over there?
Matt, you said there's a form, if they're gonna give a donation, or I didn't go out, so I'm gonna have to type.
We have a form.
I have some actually, but it's on the site.
Yeah, it's on Facebook, we have it on the website. So the golf tournament is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. So if you have raffle prizes, if you want to be a whole sponsor, please get a hold of Ray. It's really important for us. We use that money throughout the year. It's what funds us. It's what keeps our kiddos with events. It's what keeps us from bringing in guest speakers that we need to have come in. It's just great overall for the community. Having said that, what was great for the community is obviously you all know that this month is Autism Awareness Month, and April 2nd is Autism Awareness Day. We do have proclamations that we had with board supervisors, City of Imperial, City of El Centro, and the City of Brawley. I want to thank those leaders very much for going out of their way to make our month and our time so special, especially for us parents, especially for our kids. So thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. We have again the golf tournament that's on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We also have Autism Awareness baseball game coming up. That's on April 23rd. It's being hosted by Brawley High School. It's out at Ed Wieston Field in Brawley, and it is against Palo Verde. Both teams will be sporting our Chargers hats. So thank you very much to both Palo Verde and Brawley for hosting that game for us. We really appreciate it. Having said that, like I said, today's meeting is a town hall meeting. We want to have everybody input whatever they can, and we want to know what you think, what you want to do, and how you want us to go about finding these things for you. Having said that, we had somebody in the break that was starting to talk about something very special, but I think he's a little occupied right now. I don't want to disturb him. I know he's deep in conversation, but he did have something to say. So Hector, if you want to get on the mic and explain to us again what you were talking about. Yeah, you got to turn the on button on. Can you hear me now?
I was saying before, I can't remember exactly the words, but many years ago when I joined the group, we did a number of, not events per se, but things to help our children evolve, for lack of another word. We all parents of autistic children, we want our kids to do the best. We know that very likely they're not going to be brain surgeons, but we want them to have a good life and be very independent and be able to sort things out without us being, because we're not going to be here forever, right? And one of the things that I adopted throughout these years personally was really to train my son into doing things. Let's say, clean up his room. It's not a matter of doing it every morning because you have to do it or no. It's because your room is dirty. To make some decisions to be able to do what he needs to do. And I, of course, like I said, I did Tomates and the chiropractor and the horseback riding. I think I even did voodoo, but whatever I needed to do, I did it for him to help him. And like I said before, my son is very high function. I'm not saying that that's why. I think I've been blessed. But I also think that it has to do with all the little things that happened through his 16 years. Everything, because he was diagnosed very late. He didn't talk. He was potty trained. You know that kid that you see in the mall that somebody's dragging on the foot? That was me. Because he had tantrums. He was terrible. And now he drags me because he's bigger than me. And he's very, like I said, very, very high function. He thinks very funny. Teachers don't feel that way, but still, he does very well in school, socially speaking. His grades have nothing to cheer about, but socially, he's a kid. He's a kid. He's mainstream. He has only a couple of accommodations, because we all know that IEPs are really a pain in the butt and they don't do much for you. You need to do all the work. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we invest money, and I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I don't know if I'm out of place with this thing. We invest money on, let's have the movie night, and let's do this, and that's great, because it's fun for the kids that otherwise they're kind of stuck because of the lack of social skills sometimes. But on the other hand, I think it wouldn't hurt to put some money, and I'm just talking as I think, and I'm maybe saying something that I shouldn't say. Let's say a therapist. You come around and spend, in groups with, how many kids do we have in Piedmont County that are autistic, that at least are with us, that we know about? Because I'm sure there are a lot more that don't even come here. This place should be full of people. But we don't advertise enough maybe. And also, like I said, we offer things that are really cool for the kids that we know. But I'm sure, and I hope nobody takes offense to this, but I'm sure that some of the people have left us because they just see us, okay, I come here once a month, we talk, and we talk about the golf tournament, and it's a party, whatever it is, but really what is it doing for my child? And I know there's no cure for autism, don't get me wrong, okay? In fact, I'll never forget the words of the chiropractor, which I know didn't do much, but I could love it. I don't know about the other kids. But he said it, I'm not claiming to have the cure for autism. I'm just saying that this is something good. We've experimented with a few kids, or I don't think he used the word experiment, but he used the word, we tried with a few kids, and they enjoy it, and they get relaxed, and it helps them get rid of some of their tension, because some of the kids are very tense, and get even violent, right? And I believe, I've been here many years, that at the beginning we put some money on it from us to do this thing. But if my son let us a mustard, I could take it. I remember, what's her name? Dana Sharp, her son Austin, she used to take it too. She was the person to say, you know what, we heard a lot of cures for autism and we don't buy it. But she was there with me, with a chiropractor, and she took her son a few times because he loved it. There was another lady, I can't remember her name, but a daughter, and she tried the method of the food, the type of food, the minerals or whatever in the food, to try the cleansing procedure. Then there was the ones that I talked a lot about tomates. And unfortunately, those things are expensive. All those things you do, the horseback riding, I think it was great for my son, horseback riding. But they're expensive. Again, the group paid for it at the beginning, but because he liked it, and I said, okay, fine, I can pay. We do anything we can for our kids, right? I guess what I'm saying is that we have funds, and I'm not saying that it's easy because somebody has to organize it. I know you're turning gray with all the work you're doing lately.
No, not even close.
Sorry. Well, that was yesterday before you dyed your hair, right? So yesterday you were turning gray. But bottom line is that, and I'm not saying that I will take over a task like this, but maybe something for the group to start thinking that maybe somebody wants to take over the task or start bringing stuff in that will help. I'm going to say cure this, which I know is not going to happen, but help our kids that develop in a way that they can be more independent. And not only independent, they can be at home and fry an egg. Independent, they can make decisions. I like I said, I do a lot of things with my kids, and I get to the store and I give my debit card to do the grocery shopping. Of course, he goes with the little one who's not autistic and helps, right? But still, he learns about grocery shopping and he makes decisions. We had a really bunch of rotten tomatoes at home to eat for salad because he buys them, but he's learned. He learns from his experience. And it's really cool. And again, this is something that I do, but I'm just saying that maybe there is a way to bring experts once in a while. Not necessarily for us, which we've done too. Remember we had
Dr. Lincoln.
No, yeah, that too, yeah.
Dr. Lincoln,
we
had David, Dr. David from UC Davis Mind Institute.
No, we had a full day of training for the teachers that we did in the high school. Preschool?
Wasn't that some,
I don't remember, but it was a full day of training, and we went, parents went, and teachers went there. We sponsored the whole thing to train the teachers because there's a lot of ignorance among teachers in the valley about autism.
Was that the preschool one?
It wasn't preschool.
Kennedy Middle School?
We did one in Kennedy, and we did another one at Sunflower.
I don't remember the one at Sunflower.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that we provided these funds that we made to do this. In fact, there was discussion at that time about charging for these things. And I remember arguing very much with Audrey, because Audrey wanted to charge. I said, no, we have the money. Why do they have to charge for it? I don't remember we charged or not. But the bottom line is that use the money in a way that, this is fantastic, okay, don't get me wrong, all the stuff that we talk about. But I also think that it's time to push and to try to give the kids the opportunity to grow and evolve into adults. And I'm thinking more about the younger kids, you know, like I said, my kid is already 16, he's going to be 17. And
Sure.
yeah, something around there. But the bottom line is that he again, I'm very lucky, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm very lucky with my son. But I think he's going to be okay. The day I die, I think he's going to be okay. Besides to the sisters being around, but I think he's going to be okay. And I'm talking about kids, you know, parents that don't come here, I'm not sure how old the kids out there, but, you know, parents that have children that are 5, 6 year old, you know, it's the time to help. It's never too late. It's never too late to coach my trainer. Like I said, my kid was not even 200 when he was 4. So it's just a matter of training to learn how to make a decision of what he's to do in life, and maybe psychologists or trainers or whatever we can bring, expert people to help us out and use the money in a way that will provide a future for the children.
Well, we have done some things a little bit different. I do grant that, because whatever happened before I came, there was a lot of things like the horseback riding came before I was here. But I remember it being talked about, but I don't remember anything being done. As far as having guest speakers come in, I think we had Dr. Lincoln was the last one that came here. We had another doctor that I don't remember his name. He was a tall Mexican guy.
I understand that the speakers, and I appreciate it, and I'm willing to listen to speakers, but the speakers for me, right? I'm talking about the speakers teach me,
Yes.
but I'm talking about the actual kid, hands-on on the
Right,
kid.
but that's
Somebody will
ABA for a child. ABA for a child does that.
Yeah.
You know, because my son is getting ABA services, and they teach him stuff like that. They teach my son Joshua gets ABA services, and they are teaching him that. So they teach him what I want them to work with him. So they're teaching him, because he's not very good with money. He'll give you a $5 bill and won't expect any change back. And he thinks and if it's like $2.50, he never counts his money after, because he says they're going to give me the right change. So they do a lot at home, and so when we go shopping, right, I give him the money so that he can pay, and I will tell him, you know, how much money you're supposed to get back. But ABA works with him on that, and we have outings that we do with ABA, so that work on, put into practice what we are teaching him at home, so that he gets the life skills that you're talking about. So he gets, like, you know, how to take care of himself, how to take care of himself, you know, how to, right now we're working on grooming, because he doesn't think grooming is a big deal, but he's in high school, and he should, right? But they don't think about that kind of stuff. So he's being taught, you know, the importance of what you look like, brushing your teeth, washing your face. So they work with, you know, the children, but I've had to do that on my own also. I mean, I get good information from here, so now I know, okay, there was ABA I could use. You know, there's respite. Okay, now, you know, I can use respite. But I'm saying, you know, a lot of the stuff, we have it available. You just have to know who to go to go find it stuff.
Now, really quick, Hector did go through ABA though, didn't he, for a few years?
I'm not exactly sure what ABA is. There's so many buzzwords that we've been through over the years. He was part of the regional center and that kind of stuff, but
Apprentice trials, street trials. That was a big one.
What was it?
could be,
Discrete trial,
could be a different name.
What it was called?
Discrete trials.
Could be.
like a reward system, do something good, get a chip, get a cookie.
Oh, that was when we was very young. Yeah. Well, in Hector's case, you know, I actually hired somebody who would come, you know, once a week or whatever, and then later there was a service provided by Regional Center where we had this lady that came to the house also.
That's
Okay, but again, it's something that I guess what I'm saying is, like I said, maybe I'm totally off place, right? If we have this meeting here and we say, okay, on Saturday, May 5th, okay, we're going to make 10 groups of children and they're going to be with a specialist, going to teach them how to socialize with each other, whatever. And they're going to deal with 5, 10, and whatever, but they're specialists, not us. You know, I invite people to the house. It does, like I said, it's become very social. But at the beginning was not, you know, actually, the very first times the kids were playing the pool and my son was in his room. And now it's different. What I'm saying is that we should be able to provide that service as a support group that we are, if we have the funds. I'm not saying get in debt for the fund to do something like that, but we have the funds. I mean, it's not just, in my opinion, to be able to go on an outing to San Diego or whatever it is, which is fantastic. But I think we should look for other options, other things to do for the children, not for the parents, for the children.
Everybody's phone that's going off, you guys gotta leave at least $5 in the bucket in the back, please.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody's putting their phones on mute now, huh? Yeah, so going back to Hector, with my son, the ABA therapy does both. They do the both in-house, and then they do group meetings also. So they have him come to their center, and they have 5 or 6 kids that are within his sphere, to say, and they all have to basically work together, you know, play together, do whatever they're doing together. So a lot of that is happening through our service providers. Having said that, I mean, does it hurt to bring in somebody else to do that with our kids here? Maybe even for one meeting, and us, instead of, say, taking our kids to the daycare other than our other kids, and have a social event here, one meeting. Nothing wrong with that. We can definitely do something like that. Maybe bringing in a professional to help us. No, and that's what I'm saying. Bringing in a professional so that way, you know, we do something all as a group, all just in essence in good fun. Almost in some small part, kind of like a party, to say, but you know, something that we make our kids interact with some of the things that we need to get done. Did you guys need to leave?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted you guys to go over the walk, but maybe can you guys come back next month?
Yeah.
So that way we can.
Just want to make a point for this. The other day on the event, some people come to us and tell us they don't know nothing about the group,
Yeah.
and they try to tell us something like, "What about the parents? That we should make stuff just for the parents, with daycares and stuff like that."
Well, I think they're looking more for respite service though.
No, just like
An event?
An event for the parents, and we can
Just like a
chill.
getaway,
Yeah.
getaway for us,
Yeah.
because we're all with our kids.
Is that what we do at the meetings? We get away from our kids.
Yeah, that's super nice.
No, but yeah, we do that. But even that, you're right. I mean, even to say have a meeting that's a potluck meeting, or just interact, do something other than what we do for Christmas, and any of our other outgoing events. But that's not a bad idea either, to have some sort of social event, just so parents can mingle, intertalk, share their ideas with other parents. parents.
Because, sorry, some people say that they need something to talk. You know?
Yeah.
Someone to cry, to share everything.
Yeah.
That I think we need that too.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes those things are, in essence, best one-on-one. You know, if they just wanted to call us and see if maybe we could get one of us as parents to show up and support them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, like 3 families came to us and said, this is hard and everything.
Yeah. See, and even like at my
Are
office,
you from a business? Is she from?
no, she's a parent.
Oh, as a parent. Okay.
No, but she and her husband and her family, their family represented us at the 5K walk this past weekend. Because I was out of town, I wasn't able to do it. Nobody else volunteered, but they had a great setup. Her family, you know, came and okay. So they did everything for us at the 5K. So it was fantastic that they did it. They sold a couple of our shirts. And so
Should have been here last meeting.
yeah, you were here last week. So
I missed everything.
get back to Hector. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hector.
You're on. You have 30 seconds on
Okay,
your
good. The ABA thing sounds great, whatever, but I don't think that covers horseback riding, for example.
No.
It doesn't cover tomates or whatever. It has a different name now. It's the thing with
Sounds like it's lobbies.
Music,
No.
music therapy.
It's a music therapy and it has to. I don't know if it works or not. It was very expensive, but the kids like it. And like I said, this is all the things that I've done for my kid, right? Doesn't cover the chiropractor or whatever things that we did. And I think we should invest in any program that will help the kids. That at least we think that might help the kids. We know that horse therapy is a good therapy. We've been told many times. I cannot tell you that a kid will go there and come back okay, right? But it helps them. What's the name of the lady that did this? Marsha.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just got that information from Sarah Hilfiger probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So
Somebody else has been done. I remember when that happened. She had volunteers from the school, the high schools, I think, helping out. It was a therapy. It was not just go get on the horse and ride. You know, there was a therapy involved with the whole thing. It was a process. And several weeks from what I remember. And then after that, everybody was on their own, right? But it was wow. Now, what I was talking about, the meetings or whatever it's called, there were actually conferences that we had. We had conferences for teachers. Today, just an example, today my daughter, who's autistic, sent me a text from school saying that her biology teacher said that the kids that have Asperger's autism have no emotions. And I said, well, tell the teachers, give me a call. Because we need to talk.
Yeah.
You know? So teachers are not really well prepared either. So we need to provide this thing. When we did that conference, I can't remember who it was in the group that went to different schools to push it, to force them to send the teachers over because it was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And they had to pay I don't know the well,
It was Audrey.
it was Audrey that went to school?
One,
Yeah.
she was the one because she was in the school system.
What is that again?
Yeah. Audrey had a lot to do with
Teachers
that.
they have these service days.
Yeah.
And we were able to pay for the people to come down to instruct the teachers, and the school districts really couldn't say no because they were getting a free
Seminar on
free
it.
that still met the needs for that in-service training that they had to do.
Yeah, because they have so many in-services they have to do.
Right, so we kind of forced them to focus on the needs of our kids because, you know, 1 in 66, more likely every classroom out there has somebody on the spectrum.
A few years ago, think about it, I had a plan with Mr. Silva, I guess, in Heber. We started a life skills program for the kids that needed special needs. And it went well, the teachers cooperated. And that was wrong with my ex-wife, daughter August, thought it was something I was doing behind her back. And the school felt that I was doing it just for my son and not for all the other kids, so the whole thing got pushed aside. But there was an actual program prepared. It never panned out. So, and somebody told me that there is a program. I mean, I think, is it program that in Wilson? License program.
I think it's at high schools now.
Raleigh has one,
The
but
high schools are starting to,
Maybe, yes.
Most of the schools have an inclusion program right now where they pair, somebody on the spectrum with a regular student, and they'll do activities in school, and then they also take them out to the community to do things together.
we actually have them coming in to talk next month.
The problem again is that when I did this thing with in Hebrew with Zosilla, the teachers were just doing it because they were told. They are not really aware of how to deal with an autistic kid necessarily. And that's why there's a special ed, and they pushed my son. It was really hard to put my son in there and make sure that he was, mainstream, and if he needs help, help him, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody goes through the same. And like I said before, IEPs are pain in the ass.
Well, yeah, I was going to say this with that is that.
You're gonna have the Circle of Friends speaking?
Yeah, we have Circle of Friends coming in next month.
But that program, we could give them somebody to help with that program, because they're gonna expand it all over the valley.
Yeah.
And it started at Kennedy School here.
Yeah.
And,
Raleigh has that too.
now they got it at Sunflower, they got it.
It's at the upper levels, but it's not in the elementary school. And the biggest problem we have with kids on the spectrum, most academics have a very narrow perception of what autism is.
Yeah.
They don't realize that it's on a broad spectrum. You have kids like my oldest who is very high functioning, but he lacks a lot of social skills. So academically, he's scraping by, but socially, he's very backwards.
Yeah.
So he's always right under that radar. And once he gets into high school, where it's going to be the social program, for him is going to be, he'll be noticed more because of his little quirks that he has. So there's a lot of stuff that we would like to get going. We've talked to the schools about, but there's nothing in the valley that targets kids on the spectrum that are on the higher functioning. There's a lot of programs in the schools for the kids who aren't as high functioning, who can't mainstream and go through in a classroom for 8 hours or whatever it is and be there. They just put them in a room and say, okay, you guys, you're all the same. And they're not. You have kids that can go through life and be normal, but they have little idiosyncrasies that prevent them from being a full, being able to enjoy everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you know, these kids look at the things that they want to look at, or anybody on the spectrum looks at it the way they want to look at it. Just like any one of us, if we want to see something, we want to see it the way we want to see it. It's just that's at a finer level, and yeah, we definitely want to make sure that our teachers, our educators, or anybody that's involved with our children through their development is understanding of what they're going through, and they're going to try to include them or educate them or anything of that matter in any way, because we just like any other parent, we want our kids to blossom too, and grow and find the things that interest them. It's just the funny thing is growing up with my son, and I do say growing up, I already know what his interests are, and what he's good at, and I see it every day. And Gloria's been by me this last month, seeing all the little things that I show with all of his drawings that he does and everything else. The other day he got a piece of paper that was like this big. He drew the time machine to meet the Robinsons this big, and I'm like, that wasn't tracing, that was freehand. And I found it the other day. I hid it from him because if he doesn't like it, it doesn't pass inspection.
Yeah, and see, that's the way my oldest one is. When he does something, that we're really excited about, hey, you did this. If something happens between the point A and B, he'll just throw it in the trash. You know, I'm mad at it now.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we did, because we pushed for a one-on-one through the ABA, my insurance, I was very lucky because my insurance covered it, and I was able to get an ABA tutor with Vincent in class from TK through second grade.
But that's the school's responsibility.
It is, but they don't have anybody to do it.
They
There's-
hired somebody to bring in for my son. They didn't have anybody, but
it's dual-sided because,
Yeah.
I mean, for some small part, and Mr. McFadden, you can interject on this because you know a little bit, or a little bit more than I do when it comes to that subject, I should say. But it's dual-sided in the fact that I know what you want to do. You want to make sure you had a one-on-one for your kid. And I know how much work you put in to making sure the ABA therapist was there because, I mean, I remember you coming in and you going back and forth with us, how you went back and forth with the school, that what does it matter about the liabilities? This person's just going to be, you know, sitting there, and all the things that you had to go through just to have that, in essence, that one-on-one.
Yeah.
Whereas Roseanne is saying that, you know, she gets one-on-one with her son, and the school has to provide it. It's the child's right, and for some small part, yeah. But sometimes the schools do get caught up in resources. Do we like it as parents? No, we don't. But you know, it happens. I mean, I don't like it, and I don't want to sit here and tell you guys that the schools get caught up in resources. You know, because it's your right. But we try to adjust, and you made the adjustment, and you did a fantastic job, and it helped both the school and both your son.
And what happened too is the teachers didn't realize that Vincent was on the spectrum because he could function. And his thing was, there was, like I said, there was a lot of really bad social things. He would just do really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And the ABA instructor would just redirect him. And the teachers started seeing the stuff, and they said, well, you know what? I had a student 4 years ago that was like that. And they started realizing now they know what to look for. And very fortunate that the 3 or 4 teachers that had the ABA tutors in there in the classroom helping, now they're actually saying, hey, I think this student needs to be evaluated, and they'll talk to the parents because now they know what to look for. They didn't know before. And me pushing and fighting and arguing, and I told him, you know, I had to go to the superintendent, and I said, listen, my insurance is going to pay for it. And the superintendent looking at the people that were at the school, why are you making this an issue? It's not going to cost us a dime. Make it happen.
see, I tried that to bring my, because his ABA, the company that I go with for him, they wanted to do that. And this school was like, no. He got a one-on-one.
Yeah.
He got a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So now he's had a one-on-one for a few years now. But going back to the teachers that are, you know, don't know what to look for, when he was 7th grade, I was getting calls from the school. I'm not kidding you, 3, sometimes 4 times a week. He went through 8th grade, the same thing. So finally, they're like, we've never had a student that posed all the issues that your son did. We're bringing somebody from LA to do this training for the teachers. They didn't make it mandatory for all the teachers though. Because if you wanted to come to this training, you went to the training.
Yeah.
It benefited all the teachers because they're going to encounter kids in regular classrooms that have issues, and they have to know how to deal
There's
with
a
them.
lot of parents who unfortunately don't find out that their kids are on the spectrum until they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and it benefits to get somebody that knows, because like with Vincent, he was so far under the radar that they said, well, it's not affecting his academics, we don't care. Well, wait a minute, social skills are eventually going to start coming into play with the academics as well. And You know, and they just didn't want somebody foreign in their classroom. Well, the teachers were kind of okay with it, but the administration, and it took a lot. James, like James was saying, I was fighting the superintendent's office, you know, the principal,
That's
everybody.
everything.
And finally, when I got down to the brass tacks, it's my dime. I'm paying for it. I want this to happen. And that's when the superintendent said, you know what? This is a non-issue. I don't know why we're having this meeting. And he was actually chewing out I won't give his name up, but he was chewing out the individual from the school. After the meeting, he closed door with the person and said, it never should have went this far. He says, you should have taken care of that from day one because his insurance is paying for it. Let it happen.
So,
It's been contentious with this individual. We've had a lot of stuff going and going. So he holds some animosity because he got chastised.
well, I know when Alan first started coming to the meetings, he had a full head of hair on the top.
Yeah.
And they don't have a beard?
He didn't have a beard. He was-
I've known him for a long time, I wouldn't call it full name.
So, I mean,
He had a,
but nonetheless, yeah, I mean, Alan, you did a tremendous job with Vincent, you know, making sure that that's there. And so is Roseanne, you know, making sure that you know, you get that one-on-one that is needed. But I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes that's needed on, wait, let everybody else talk. Yeah, but,
The school now, I mean, especially the teachers, and my wife volunteers at the school, they're all the time telling her, you know what, because of what you and your husband did, it's opened eyes, so to speak, and they've actually started recognizing some kids that at earlier ages that the parents may not want to, you know, address because of the stigmatism from autism. Everybody looks at autism and, you know, you look at the movie Rain Man. That's what everybody thinks autism is. That little very narrow window.
yeah.
And it's not. It's huge. So now they're saying, hey, you know what? They'll get a hold of somebody and say, you know what, maybe we need to do an evaluation on this student.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, as we know as parents and being here at these meetings, we know how wide the spectrum really is.
and early intervention is the key. The earlier you can get them, it helps so much.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say, Lori? All right. Yeah. Okay.
No, I left some pamphlets for those of you that know or have children that are still grade school children. I spoke to the county librarian, and she's willing to help out. There's information there on with the different library schools, the different programs that they have. She's hopeful that next year they can start a sensory program.
Okay. Sensory guide.
It's hopefully like a pilot program, but if it works out, that they can do that within every
And that's with the county library.
county. I spoke to the county librarian, and I shared with her a little bit of what's going on and the awareness that we've been trying to raise. So I left some flyers back there in English and Spanish, and there's a calendar for the month of April, and she's willing to provide me calendars with the different activities that libraries have also. They're welcoming. You've heard the Imperial Chamber of Commerce. They also welcome children, you know, with or without disabilities. They're inclusive. They provided us with a card. So, unfortunately, and for those of you that have been working hard at this, it does take a village. It takes a lot of hard work, not one person job, to make those small changes. So even if it's getting on TV for 1 minute to explain what autism is, what someone's real life is, and we're grateful that the different cities have done that this year. You know, like I mentioned to the sheriff's department, you know, other departments, they did light it up blue. For a lot of people, a light might not mean anything to them, a blue light, but for us, that, you know, it's near and dear. we know what that blue light means, and that they're honoring that light on all month. It's huge.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys got a chance to drive by City Hall, but they've lighted up really, really well. Gloria's crying.
It's interior, and so did Raleigh PD, the sheriff's department, probation, some, it's baby steps, because like I said, one person can't do it all, but little by little, we keep raising the awareness, and not only the awareness, the acceptance, is what I've found more than anything important, because you want to go out shopping with the least looks as possible. So, what I shared before with some of you is that, where a couple of years ago, I probably didn't want people to know my business or ask or, now I probably wear any shirt that I have. It says autism acceptance, awareness, because it'll help people kind of just do their own shopping. Oh, look away and understand, and let us do our own shopping. And not think it's a different matter, or the child is spoiled, or just not behaving, what have you. So whatever little resources I can bring to the table, I'll try to do that, or I'll share them with James so that we can bring to the table. But like I said, for those that have small children, still, it's not only, it's for all children. What they have I spoke to her briefly, but they even have like a toy program where you can go and check out toys and then take them back. They have books also that they can, I don't know, they can be sent out to you, or then you just return them after a while. You check. So there's a number of things that they have. But to me, what just caught my attention was when she mentioned we are hoping to start a sensory program.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And that's where this group can help out, because they're starting the program, but they're gonna need items that their funding's gonna run out.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to pay for the employee or the person facilitating, but the different props and the toys that they'd be checking out in the books, that's where the money went out, because those are disposable items. The expectation is that it comes back in the same working order that it went out, but we all know that it's gonna get damaged. So that's where our group can help out. That's where the monies that we raise can help offset the cost for something that they're already starting.
Yeah,
That's what we need to consider.
try to let her know that, if there's anything there that she might need from us, just to let us know, so that way, we can pass something and get it approved, and whatever they may need that, obviously is within our budget, then we'll
And for
definitely.
her, she said, Christina, I spoke to her a little bit, and it was news to her. She's all, wow, I didn't know that, in the county there was such need, I'd like to know more. So a lot of this is just that, we make the time, I might not sound as if it's working, but if we task each other with bringing a guest, maybe next month, somebody that that has, or that has been touched about it.
Yeah.
Maybe for that one meeting, it'll make our group bigger, and maybe that other person can bring something else. I don't know if that would be helpful to get this room a little cooler. I know that the rep can probably help them to get all the information, and it makes it easier on those, unless that sometimes can't make it. But also inviting, reaching out, because sometimes when you're new, you're afraid to even start somewhere. So those of us that have more experience, and then we can bring those services, those benefits, set a date and bring a specialist to help out. I think that would be.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to bring as much information as possible
We can set
on
up a forum of all these individuals that are specialists, with all these different agencies, just like we did for the proclamation. We can set up a forum to share ideas, to gather how they can help us also.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing today, is trying to see what more information. What Hector's bringing to the table definitely is information that we'd like to know. Just different services that we had done in the past versus what we do now. When I first took over, it's just like we had the movies, we had Gym Day. we had the pool party, but now we've elaborated and we've created things for our teenagers. We've got the camp, you know. So, yeah, those took resources, and maybe those resources took away from the horseback riding and everything else. You know, they all cost money, but on the flip side, they're all doing great things. I mean, the camp in itself has done great things for our kids, because that's a 4 or 5 week long program, and that's getting them out 2 times a week for 1 hour, and especially for, I mean, I know our parents that have their children, their older teenage children that are on the edge of diabetes or with diabetes, getting them out and getting them on an elliptical, getting them on a treadmill, getting them on some sort of cardio program. That's been great to them. They found it fantastic. Getting them in the swimming pool at least once a week, doing that kind of cardio has been fantastic for them. Not every parent has access to a swimming pool, so when they can sit here and do that through one of our camps or anything else, and I'm hoping that this year with Pat Yolena and her crew trying to see if they can get a grant. You talked to Pat. Maybe that'll be something that if we get the grant, now that's not money that we have to put out. Instead, it's the grant that's putting it out. Now, if the grant gets funneled through us, by all means, we've had that before. But it doesn't mean that we're actually spending money, which is a great thing. So it's one of those things. Hector, did you have anything else to say?
Well, I wanted to say something based on what he said, which makes a lot of sense that I forgot to mention. Everybody that has autistic children has gone through this trouble with the schools and the so-called IEP book. Everybody that has autistic kids that had this trouble with schools and the IEPs and whatnot. I've had similar problems. You have to get the supervisor involved, superintendent involved. I had a huge meeting with that, because at first you're overwhelmed and you just do what they tell you, or they tell you things like, oh, we don't do that here. Okay, But then you get a little more savvy. In fact, I took a book that somebody gave me that had all the law related to disabilities, and I put a whole bunch of posters in different pages. Doesn't matter pages. And when I went to that meeting, there were like 20 of us, and I put it in front of me. And every once in a while, I glanced at it like I was looking for something. And it worked out real good. But the truth is that shouldn't be the case. I think that we could provide somebody who knows about these things, knows the law really well. It does, maybe. That will be an advocate for us with because like I said, my child is older, but there's a whole bunch of younger kids, right? And if they need to go to an IEP, it would be great to have the help of somebody who's an expert.
We actually had a activist, Marta Leva. We had her at one of the meetings through the San Diego Regional. We met her.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
then we actually brought her to here.
And will she go with people to the IEP?
She did she come and did a presentation, and then the next day we actually paid her to go over IEPs for, at the time we did 6 or 8.
We did 6. We got
And
March. We did it the first year, and then we skipped because the first year it was kind of pricey.
Yeah.
Because we did that. We had her come in, and then the next day we had her speak with 6 people, which we paid for 6 matters.
She went to the schools with them.
No. They ended up meeting.
And she basically went over their IEPs with them and told them what they need to.
I'm just suggesting something, okay?
But you're wanting somebody to go with to the
To
school,
me,
right?
when I went to the school for the first time, I was completely overwhelmed by the rules and everybody had something to say. I had to really come back and force myself to do something, and I went there and said, "This is my son, and if not, I'll take him out and I'll figure something out." But it was hard. It was very hard. If somebody would have come with me let's say, you are an expert, you come with me, and they say, no, we don't do that, you know what? The law says that you have to do it.
Right.
You know, that is out of my hand. I don't necessarily know it until sometimes it's too late for many parents that are not here, unfortunately, today.
Right.
But it's too late for people. So, like I said, I'm done. I'm okay. High school is almost over for my son. But I'm talking about what I went through. And I'm trying to help the people in the valley because there's a ton of autistic kids here, and this place is empty.
Yeah, well, and in some small part, that's why we've gotten the camera. That's why we go Facebook Live. That's why we upload the videos because you've been.
Didn't know it. Okay.
But I mean, what I'm trying to get at. Sorry, you got flustered with that. What I was trying to say is that now all these get recorded and they're up on Facebook as a library. As a matter of fact, I created a YouTube page, so you'll be on YouTube. Famous, okay, yes.
Say that
Yeah, and so we do that. We created a library, so it kind of started with Marta because we wanted to make sure that people were getting that information, and it's metastasized to say.
But still, we should have people. I agree what she said. You should probably make a plan of next meeting in a month from now. Everybody should try at least to bring one more person.
No, that's a fantastic idea.
To have more involvement here to help
Even
people.
now, how many are we here? I'm sure we know more than one family that has a loved one with autism.
Yeah.
And if we task ourselves with inviting them as our special guest, that's when we would get our group, and maybe that time, next time, they'll invite someone else. And, they probably don't know what we're about, and we all have really busy schedules, we all make long distance trips. But, I think that's the way to do it. We can start little and try that, and not, and we can try different avenues.
And exactly for some small part, it's one of those things like I was telling all the city councils, in my family, my son was the first with autism, but he's 13, and since he's been born, I have 2 other cousins that have been diagnosed. That's 3 in 13 years. In my family alone with autism. Now I'm talking about my expanded family. I'm not talking about just between my brothers and sisters. I'm talking about cousins, kids, and everything else. But still, that's too much. And I mean, it's like Gloria's saying. It's just like somebody else. It's our motto for our group. It's in the back of our shirts that we sell. Somebody with autism. When I first started coming here, I didn't know that I knew somebody with autism, and that's why I thought of the slogan because I actually did. I knew Matthew, and everybody, well, Ray, and you guys know Matthew. Forgetting their last name off the top of my head.
Schultz.
Pinedo. And Schultz, but no, I was thinking Pinedo. I had known him for a long time. I'd seen him here and there with his parents. Never knew he had autism. I couldn't even tell. Didn't even know the difference. He would just come in, sit down, and you'd see him just right there, minding his own business. And so really quick, and so when I started becoming part of this group, and later when you guys let me become president, I was just like, we needed something. We needed something out there that said. And so that's when I thought of that little slogan that you have. It's just like, somebody with autism. It's not a question. It's not, somebody with autism. It's a statement. Somebody with autism. And Autism Support Pima County can help. We can help by providing information and resources. Now, we might not give you the direct help that you're looking for, whether it be showing up at the schools and saying, hey, we're here with pitchforks and knives and everything else, and you're going to educate our kids. Or we're not, trying to get, everything done with the state and everything else, or whatever other agency we need to. We're here to provide, at the simplest form, information.
Exactly.
You know, at the simplest form information. So that way you have the tools as parents to raise your kids better. Because, I mean, this group, when I first started coming out, helped us out a lot. I mean, we came in thinking our son doesn't have autism, you know, but let's check out this group because the word was mentioned to us and we'd like to know what it's about. Because my son has speech delay, because that's what he was diagnosed with. And as I started listening and I started hearing, you know, it's just like, okay, well, he's not functioning. Maybe he has Asperger's. That's what we thought. Maybe he has Asperger's. Well, you know, we got him reevaluated, and they said, no, he doesn't have Asperger's. He has autism, which Asperger's doesn't even exist anymore in the DSM-5. But you know, it was just like, still, you know, what I'm getting at is the simplest form. You know, as a parent, we still didn't want to accept it, but we started coming to the meetings, and that was acceptance by itself. That was the first step.
That's the first step.
And so, you know, it's just like they say with all those other ones, you got to attend meetings. That's the first step, in acknowledging. And, you know, we started when he would come to these meetings when he was 3.5. He's 13 now, so we've been coming to these meetings for 10 years. And I can't remember when I first came on as president, but I know it's been about 7 years. And typical at that time was, it was in the bylaws. President for 2 years. That was it. 2-year term.
Well,
I-
you did
I-
a wonderful job of these. I know I sure do. I mean, you're full time working and a full time father too, so
Yeah, I
thank
mean,
you for making difference for all of us.
no problem. It's you know, for some small part, it's the least that I can do, and I really don't think I do anything for some small part, because most of you that are here help out in so many different ways, you know, in so many different ways, and so, you know, it like Gloria was saying, it takes a village, you know, and
These events that we do to get the kids out are great because even kids who are not on the spectrum, they live their life 6 inches in front of their face with an electronic device. And that's it. So they get exercise with their thumbs. So getting them out, getting them to go to these Ricochet gym days where they can jump up and down and doing the 5K walks and everything that we do gets them out and gets them away from that 5 to 6 inches in front of their face.
Yeah.
Because my 2 boys, actually all 3 of them, but that's it. They have their electronics, and that's what they do. They don't want to go outside and play football. They don't want to go play catch. They're either with their Xbox, PS4, or on their tablet, and that's it. 6 inches in front of their
they
face.
were definitely lucky they were born 100 years ago.
You don't have to go that far back.
Yeah, exactly, for the most part. But, I mean, yeah, I look at my son as a timeline, you know, with all the things he used to try to do with video cassette. Then he was, you know, astounded by DVDs, which he's still astounded by, but now he's all, his iPad. I mean, my uncle could, see how that, you know, can tell you what he does with all the things he does with his iPad. And you know, my son, I know, can control, you know, I've seen him at least control 3 devices at one time simultaneously and know exactly where each one of them is at and what they're doing and control them all.
Vincent will be on the Xbox or the PS4 playing, and he'll have his tablet right there, and he'll do like this, and then he's all in.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They do stuff that I can't do, and you know,
Well, but on the flip side, it helps us see what direction they're going in.
yes.
You know, it's amazing because, you know, and I've been telling this to every single politician that I've been coming across with all these meetings. You know, I showed off my son's artwork, and I said, he's 13. Look at this. This one's traced. This one's freehand. They both look identical in some small part. You know, and like you say, we want our kids to be raised to be, you know, Hector was saying it, to be independent and be able to. But part of that independence is finding a decent way of life.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I remember telling everybody, I go, I wouldn't mind if Disneyland hired my kid and just had him draw all day long. All these Disney characters that he likes to draw all day long. And just have him there, and just have people walk by. How many times have we walked by in Disneyland and just seen somebody do something that's just there? You know? And I'm like, that's something he could do. I mean, he might not want to be a sprinter. You know, he's definitely doesn't have any interest in baseball. You know, I don't know if he's going to want to sell insurance, but you know, what was that?
My oldest one wants to be a forensic scientist because I like to watch like 48 hours and that. And he's, Dad, what do I have to do that? I want to do that. School, read and do math. That's what you need to know. You have to be able to do math and read, and that's a job that you can do. That's not out of the spectrum for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just, you know, whatever we can do. I mean, one of these things is that going to all these meetings is trying to figure out what we can do for our community more. And Hector's right for so small part. I mean, we're all right for so small part. We need to touch more educators, but we need to bring more resources in too.
Exactly.
Because
Resources
we're underserved in resources. You know, talking to Themel, you know, he was just like, what can we do to bring in the bodies, the people, to provide these services, because they don't want to come down to the valley.
No, they don't.
You know,
they want more than what is reasonable for us to be able to pay them to come.
Yeah, and for some small part, it's a stepping stone. But you know, somebody gave me, you know, an idea today that just in talking and just in how he does his recruiting to bring people to work for the company he works for down in the valley. He goes, he talked to people that were in San Bernardino, LA, San Diego, Santa Barbara, you know, do all those work fairs that they're doing at colleges. And they're like, oh yeah, do you have an office in Riverside? Do you have an office in San Diego? Do you have an office in LA? And he's like, no, our offices are in El Centro. And he goes, oh no, we can't do that. And then he went to Las Cruces, UNLV, and some other places that are in the middle of other deserts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, I got these jobs. They're in El Centro. Oh, that's fantastic. You know, what I had to do to sign up? So part of that is maybe the personnel we're looking for just plainly doesn't want to be here. And maybe we should be looking at personnel that want to be here and want to grow their families here. Because, I mean, some small part, you're going to get stepping stones anyways. I mean, it's just a matter of attrition. There's just no way that, you know, we can always keep 100% of all these people that we bring in. There's just never a way. I mean, I can cite one of Santiago's teachers that was fantastic. She was great. She wanted to stay here. It just didn't work out. She had to leave, you know, the county, and now she's prospering where she's at. And her family is prospering where she's at, and that's where she needed to go for her family. But you know, not everybody's leaving. People want to stay grounded here.
Most people that aren't from the valley don't want to be in the valley.
Yeah.
I'm a transplant. I transferred down here in 2000 for work, and my goal was 2 years and then promote out and go someplace not here. I ended up meeting my wife on vacation when I was down in Guadalajara. We got married. We've been married for 17 and a half years. So I stayed in the valley because she doesn't have family down here, but the job was here, and I didn't want to move her so far away. But now that I'm retired and everything, we can pick up and move. and we may. Our goal is to eventually get out of California just because of the cost, how much it costs to live in California.
What?
But, you know, like I said, everybody that I know that comes to the valley, they only come here for a short period of time before they get out. If they're not from here, they don't want to be here.
Yeah, for some
26.5 years, all right? I've been here 26.
But you're still here for the job, right?
So, yeah, I mean, we've got to find a way, and we've got to bring people in. But yeah, we got to bring people in that would love to grow their families here. You know, that want to build roots here.
There's no real doctors that do anything with autism down here. They're out of San Diego or out towards the LA area. So there's no doctorate program for treatment. I mean, you have your ABA providers, but they're limited on what they can do. There's, you know, you go someplace, medications treat some symptoms, but they don't do anything really for autism. You're treating for other, you know, behaviors, and you're trying to find a middle ground. And some of the medications work. I mean, with my boys, they're autistic with ADHD. So we're trying different medications to help with the ADHD to get them on a more level playing field. It helps. It's a Band-Aid on a gaping chest wound, but, you know, that's just the way it is with spectrum kids. You treat a symptom, but not the disease.
Okay. We're out of time, but really quick, if there was something, and I'm going to ask everybody, if there's one thing, and I'd like to keep it brief and short, that you would want to see improved for your son, some sort of service, what would it be?
Coping skills.
Coping skills. Okay.
To cope with daily whatever happens during the day, to learn how to cope with it.
Okay. Ray, what would you think?
I was going to ask you to shave, but for my kids, just life skills. That's the big thing, life skills. We know our kids aren't going to go out and run major companies, but the goal is for us not to worry when we're no longer here.
Yeah, so life skills.
They're going to be able
Life skills.
Life skills.
No, you got to come up with something different.
No, I won't. No.
Please, come up with something different. Any type of service, any type. The Undertaker?
The Undertaker?
Yeah.
Just social gatherings, I guess.
Social gatherings. Okay.
Social
Social skills.
Social skills.
Social skills. So, service to social skills. Brilliant.
Something along those lines, but also some behavior modification. Because my son is doing the same thing, and he said he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
But
But he's graduated out of
yeah.
ABA. And he's how old is he now?
23.
23. So he's graduated out of almost everything.
So he had no to go when he was younger, I mean, 12 years old or something. No, even younger, when he was like 5. But recently we had a problem here. And they called us. And we had a meeting with the dean. Very nice man. But they suggested that we didn't touch them. They themselves haven't touched either the SDS or they haven't touched with the Chico Central Road. But she called me and she said, we don't have to take them on.
For somebody who's able.
For adults.
So we need something for a different form of ABA for. Not for his age.
They have behaviors no matter what age they are.
You have behaviors.
I do.
But no, I get exactly what you're saying. Not to downplay, not to make. You're right, because I mean I can see my son still having, you know.
Because it doesn't stop just because they get 23 years old.
No, it doesn't. Nothing ever stops. They still have autism. They still have autism. There's no cure for autism. They're going to have their autism behaviors.
Teachers think that, right? Those are
Because
big.
it pollutes out. Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
You don't grow out of autism. Hey Dallas, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Nice to see you. Thumbs
Hi
up.
there. I haven't
Okay.
seen you since Christmas time, right?
Oh, yeah? What's your name?
Roseanne.
Hi,
Well,
Roseanne.
yes, you, the superhero shirt. Did you buy me a superhero shirt, by the way?
I'll put it on the table.
Yeah. If there was a service you could look for, or you want, social skills was already covered.
You can't have that one. That was
Yeah.
already.
It's already covered. Hi. Ah, she said hi to me. You want to say hi to everybody? Come over here. Come over here. Hi. All right. So yeah, it just so yeah. Nonetheless, at its basic levels, just services that we need for our kids. Having said that, if you're on Facebook Live with us, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll upload this video as soon as we get a chance to our YouTube page, so you can review it again if you like. If there's any input you want to give us, please provide it to us. If there's some sort of service other than, or even something that we suggested tonight, please let us know. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you and have a good day. Yeah, just chairs.